What's up? Welcome to the Unstuck Podcast. I'm your host, Drew Koss, and you are in the right spot. This is where we discuss real life, real problems with real people. You're going to get unstuck. Now, while you're at it, make sure you subscribe and share this with a loved one. Let's get ready to get unstuck. You ever felt like you wanted to do something, but you needed someone's permission? Now, most of you would be like, I don't need anybody's permission. I do what I want. But low key, sometimes you don't pull the trigger on decisions because you feel you need someone's permission, or better yet, you need something to be perfect to do it. Come inside today. It's the Unstuck Podcast. I'm your host, Drew Koss. We're going to talk about making the decision when it's not perfect. Now, this episode might be quick because my co-host is somewhere around, and when co-host is around, she's going to grab the mic and all that stuff. So let's jump right into it. While we're getting ready, do me a favor, subscribe to this channel so that we can help you and also help more people with our message of getting people unstuck. Now, let's jump in. Sorry. A lot of times we don't make a decision because we need the situation to be perfect, or we need the decision to make sense 100%. That often doesn't happen when you're making bigger moves sometimes, or if you're just making just faith moves. I see this a lot where people, when it comes to content, they want to make sure that, that everything is perfect. And I just want to warn you that nothing is perfect and it will never be perfect. And I don't say that to scare you, but I say that to encourage you to understand that we don't need perfect. We need truth. We need you being authentic. If that's with content, if that's with podcasting, if that's with being a parent and all of that, people want more so just you being who you are rather than trying to be perfect. Now, here's why we're doing this podcast. If you're only aiming for perfection, you're really aiming for something that's never attainable. And I think, and I believe in my heart, you can tell me if you believe different. When you aim for perfection, you usually start to become ungrateful a lot. You usually really become hard on yourself. And usually you end up not being the best version of yourself. You end up chasing somebody else's toy, so to say, or you end up chasing someone else's path or going down somebody else's lane. I do believe in progress. That's different. But what if you just have the permission to mess up? You have the permission to learn and fail. I'll tell you a story. We were in the pandemic, and I was training people in my garage, and it was springtime when the pandemic was starting. So it wasn't too cold. It was cold, but it was like, okay, we're in a pandemic, so we're already in this unusual circumstance as it is. And summer went by. It was hot. We ended up getting AC. We ended up getting fans. And then when winter was coming, we were going to need insulation. Now, I never done insulation before because I'm not a handyman yet. Maybe I will become one. Praise God. And I didn't have the money to pay for it because it was going to cost so much. So my idea was, we're going to be stuck. We're going to just literally have to wear like big coats and things like that. And then I started telling myself, what if you just try it and you mess up? At first, my wife told me that, and I was like, you're wild. I'm not doing that because I don't know how to do it. It's going to take so much, blah, 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 all that stuff. You ever been there before where like you just beat around the bush instead of giving it a try? So I did that. And then eventually I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. And if I mess up, at least I tried. And that's a hard thing to adopt at times for people and for me. It's not that I just don't like messing up, but it seems like it's so overwhelming that I need permission. What ended up happening was I ended up insulating the garage. Was it perfect? Probably not as a professional. Did it work? Yeah, we had heat during the winter. We had AC during the springtime. But for you, whose permission are you looking for? What permission do you really need to actually make this next decision. And if you're thinking that you need someone's permission, it's probably yourself. It's probably you giving yourself a chance to actually mess up. We have a content group called Make Content Simple. You guys should definitely join. It's only $5 a month. We go through challenges, thoughts, all things content, including podcasting stuff. In the group, we run challenges and things like that to push people away from being perfect. And we push people into a place of, hey, if you feel you messed up or didn't do well, there's something you probably learned or you picked up along the way. I learned with podcasting that if I have a mic inside of my house, I'm probably going to get way more episodes done than if I only go to a studio. Also learned that if I do them early in the morning before my lioness is up, I probably can get it done without a big distraction. So you learn as you go. We're not trying to just go straight to perfection. We're trying to get progress. We're trying to learn as we go. So in the group, we talk about those things, and it works. And you start to figure out, I was waiting to be perfect and waiting to put something out and never put anything out because there's no such thing as perfect. Now, my question for you is, what would you feel like if you knew you were allowed to mess up 100 times every day and there was no like big consequence? Big consequence means, I don't mean you should be messing up like jumping off of cliffs without like proper equipment and stuff like that. I mean messing up as in like you're trying something new. You're trying something different. What if you gave yourself the permission to do that 100 times a day? What would you attempt? You probably would feel like the burden is completely lifted off of your head and that you could actually try some new things. That's how we want to start looking at this whole perfection thing. We want to dismiss perfection, aim for progress, and give ourselves permission to do so. You have the permission to go try something new. You have the permission to try something a different way. You have the permission to do that because it's your life. If we stay in this box of, I got to get it all right, or someone's going to figure out that I don't know a lot, they probably already figured it out. And if they haven't, it's okay. We're all human learning, and we're all human on some journey. Last story. Usually when I shoot, I'm usually shooting in the morning, but usually when I shoot a guest, that's usually later on in the day. And with that, I was shooting, and Aaliyah literally walked in the room. I put something at the door so she can't just walk in, and she moves it, and she walks in, and she usually walks behind me and sits in the chair that's behind me, and she'll like do whatever she has to do. She'll wave and she'll be on the mic, and I cannot tell you how at first that would just make me feel like I was not a good podcaster because of that. And I started reframing my mind and started telling my guests, hey, my co-host, my daughter, might come in the room. She might come on the show, and if she does, it's okay. Just keep talking. That made things a lot easier because now my progress wasn't based on I can't do a podcast because my little daughter's around. It became she's going to be around probably. So if she's around, she might show up on the show. And people were okay with that. And someone actually said, hey, this is freaking cool. Let me read a comment that somebody left, and I was like, that's what it's about. We're not aiming for perfection. We're not aiming to be on point with everything. We're aiming to just get progress. And sometimes we need someone's permission for some reason. I'm not sure why we always need permission, where it started from. Maybe it started from childhood. So someone said, let's normalize all the things recording with our bed behind us, cats jumping on our chairs, even the occasional siren outside noise being heard. It's authentic and lets us not have to always be perfect. I love that. You don't have to be perfect. You don't need anyone's permission. But if you feel you do, give yourself permission. You can mess up. You can try again. You can do it over. It's your life. And trust me, people aren't waiting for you to be perfect. People are waiting for you to just show up. Now, I want to give you an invite. If you feel that you would love to do what I'm doing, which is podcasting. Right now, I'm podcasting just on audio. So there's no video to this. If you feel, I want to do this, I want to create my own podcast, I want to share my message, I want to share the topics that I love, and I want to do it in a way, sign up for 1 hour courses. We have individual courses and we have group courses. Our most popular course is our 5-day VIP bootcamp. And that's a really cool program because it's 5 days. You're going to learn how to start your podcast and to actually start it. And you're going to do it with other people. And it's cool because you guys become like family within those 5 days. And we talk about everything that you need to get started, and then to grow. The other popular one is a 30-day 30-day podcast bootcamp. And that's 30 days where we meet on Zoom 4 times out of the month. And you're in a community throughout the other time doing some assignments that are going to help you start, launch your podcast, and give you some things that you probably don't think about when it comes to podcasting, give you some information and things to implement. So by the end of 30 days, you probably have at least 4 or 5 episodes. If any of that interests you, go to my website, go.drewcost.com, and sign up. It's an investment that you will love making, because podcasting is one of the most powerful ways to connect with your community, to build your brand, and to share your message with the world. And I'm always for people amplifying their voices. So with that, go subscribe to our channel. Help us help more people. Thank you for stopping by. I hear Aaliyah coming down, so I'm out of here. Be great. I cannot say thank you enough for listening to this episode. Do me a favor, subscribe and share it with a friend. Help us help more people as we share a message of getting unstuck with real life problems with real people solving them. Be great.